The rumors you've heard are absolutely true. A man will move heaven and earth to be with the woman of his dreams, but sometimes what he doesn't realize is that the woman of his dreams has been standing in front of him the entire time, in the form of his bro best friend. It's just like when Sabrina Carpenter sang in her song Feather, I'm your dream girl, but when it's on a platter for you. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're being praised or groomed for accepting low effort treatment from men, please know that you are molding yourself into becoming the dream woman of a Dusty. My name is Kirsty and welcome to Good Girls in Remission, where good girls come to seek repentance for the sins they've committed as good girls. So why are we good girls in remission and not good girls gone bad? Because we've already been there, done that. We've done the bad girl route, and that only played us into the hands of the Dusties, so now it's time to come back home. Why? Just because a few men didn't know how to handle us, should we have to change ourselves to seek our own approval? We don't need to change ourselves. We don't need to change our whole persona just to be more likable or unlikable. What we need is just a better vetting strategy, higher standards, and stronger boundaries, and that's what I'm here to help you with. But who am I to indulge in such concepts? Well, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been the good girl, the bad girl, and then the good girl again. Initially, when I was in the good girl phase, I was the people pleaser. I was stepping over my own boundaries. I didn't even have boundaries. I didn't even have standards. I was just tolerating bullshit left, right, and center. Then I went down the bad girl route where I decided to dabble in drinking, partying, and just essentially defying any sort of authority. And then that got me burnt as well. So I went back to being a good girl because I realized actually there was nothing wrong with me in the first place. The only thing that was missing was a vetting strategy, which is something that I have now. And that has allowed me to cultivate higher quality relationships that nurture the aspects of me that are needed in this world, that we need from you in this world. We don't want you to get rid of your amazing characteristics just for a few guys. We want you to nurture those characteristics and choose the proper relationships that give you the space and the arena in which you can amplify those qualities and give those gifts to the world. When I was a good girl, I was doing everything by the book, checking off every single box to make sure that I was perfect, to make sure that I was being seen as the good girl. It was like every time I shrank myself, disrespected myself, tolerated another bullshit lie, I got another gold star next to my name. I got another tick of approval from a man who was a loser in the first place. And then I realized what happened was I got burnt out because I was trying to be someone that I was not. And then I got blamed by not picking better men. So I was thinking, if I'm doing everything by the book and being the good girl that is apparently the woman of every man's dreams, why am I being played? And why am I leaving these relationships with these losers, heartbroken and hating myself? It was because I was playing by the wrong book. Turns out the book that I was doing good by was a romance novel written by a dude. So you know what I did? I wrote my own book, literally. It's called You're Doing Great, Sweetie, and it's already available in store in Sydney. When I was in the process of writing that book, it opened my eyes up to how much women shrink and change themselves for male acceptance. And that's something that I want to see less of. We have become dream women in the eyes of dusty men who want to take us, use our resources, and give us nothing in exchange. When we readily give ourselves away to men, we create a generation of spoiled and entitled men who have nothing to give because they don't think they need to. They don't think they need to pursue us. They don't think they need to earn us. So they're going to mold you into the woman of their dreams. The moment that I was told that I was a guy's dream woman was when we were at the pub and I was drinking beers with his guy friends. It was a very low moment for me, and thank God it was a wake-up call I needed. Every time I was thanked for having patience while I grappled with his lack of communication, I was being groomed into becoming a chill girl. In this episode, we're going to be exploring the qualities of a Dusty's dream woman so that you can properly vet the good quality to the bad quality men. And I need to preface by saying that these men are not inherently good or bad or evil. You're doing too much by labeling them as anything. All we need to do is define who is for us and who is not. But first, we have to become our own dream woman and define who we are so that we are not in a position where other people are defining ourselves for us. The very first quality a Dusty looks for in his dream woman is a woman who doesn't take herself too seriously. This is the kind of woman that has no opinion about herself. She doesn't have any opinions at all. She especially does not want to be seen as a feminist because that's the enemy of the Dusty man. She is a woman who is low maintenance, who is chill, who is like me, who is going to go have beers with the boys and chill and talk about gross things, because that's what these guys love. They want to be dating their bros. They don't want to date women. They don't want to be participating in romance unless they're going to get something out of it at the end of the night. A woman who takes herself seriously is not someone who doesn't know how to have fun. In fact, she knows what's fun for her and she protects that. Because the reality is, if you're with a guy who's going to be constantly overstepping your boundaries and encouraging low effort tolerance, you are not going to be having a good time with them. You are constantly going to be stressed. You're going to be thinking about them 24/7. Your anxiety is going to be through the roof. You're going to be so aware of your surroundings. Maybe you'll even have panic attacks or headaches, migraines, body aches. You'll keep having these bodily sensations as warning signs, and this experience for you will not be fun. But it's fun for them, especially if they don't give a shit about you. They think they're going to be moving on to greener grass, not realizing they're the ones killing it in the meantime. These are the men going, where are all the good women? Not realizing that they're the ones destroying them in the process. That's why you have to get serious about your dating life, and you have to be serious about who you are so that no one else can define you for you, because people will do it. And the less serious you take yourself, the more on edge you will always be in the presence of someone you have accepted. And that brings me on to the next quality that these guys look for in their dream woman. It's someone who loves a man unconditionally before they have even proven themselves. And these men know exactly what to look for in these types of women. And they know when they found it, and they're going to run you to the ground. It's well known by everybody throughout the ages that it's a man's job to prove himself to the woman, or essentially it's a man's job to prove himself to the woman's father, to be seen as a viable partner for her. Someone with a sense of authority, someone who has your best interests at heart. These days it could just be you, or it could be your best friend. There's someone that has to be won over to have access to you. If you've just started dating a man and you're taking everything that he's saying point blank as face value, you are fucking yourself over, because men need to prove themselves. It's easy to say that you are someone and then later down the line take that all away from you and prove that he's someone else. It's easy to do that, which is why we have to stick in the phase of observation, where we're not emotionally attaching ourselves, not getting physically involved with men who haven't proven themselves time and time again. This is a game of consistency, and it really is let the best man win. I just watched an Instagram video of a meme where a guy was taking one of those huge setbacks when a woman says, "What one man can't do, another will." And the comment section was, "Women will do anything except love a man unconditionally." And I find that hilarious, because what these men criticize is actually what they're guilty of. Men will absolutely put conditions on the woman that he's with, and he will absolutely make it a transactional relationship so that he can make sure that he's the one doing the least and she's the one doing the most. Do not love a man unconditionally until you have properly vetted and got yourself the right man. Until you are properly committed, not physically intimate, until you are properly committed to this man, whether that's just in a relationship or whether that's marriage. You guys are literally the ones saying pick better men. So let us have our standards and expectations. And if you're not the one, get out of the way. It's not our job to love you unconditionally. It's our job to love ourselves unconditionally. And when we get to that point where our cup is so full, we can then overflow it into the person that we've selected is right for us. Only when we feel safe enough in the right relationship can we open up our hearts enough to love unconditionally. These types of men do not personally benefit from women having standards, which is why they will shame you out of them. Why would they benefit from them? If they're not making money, if they have no ambition, no drive, no sense of direction in life, they have no respect for women, they don't know what they're looking for in a dream partner, in fact, they're not even ready to date, why in God's green earth would they benefit from a woman who is sure of herself, who has standards, who has boundaries, who is clear in who she is, and who knows what she wants? Especially if you're a smart woman with the resources to provide for him, you are a prime target for these men because you have the most to give. If you're a woman who is successful and smart and nurturing and kind, empathetic, compassionate, and you don't value yourself, you are his dream woman. To break out of that, you've got to contain all of those qualities and love yourself enough to say no. You got to love yourself enough to stay single. You've got to love yourself enough to have the patience to carry you through that time of singledom so that you are not pulled to someone out of desperation, so that you don't convince yourself that a man who is only a 6 out of 10 is really a 10 out of 10. I don't mean in terms of looks. I mean in terms of compatibility. Guys with nothing to give, who have the least amount of resources for you, will always be the sweet talkers and the charmers. They're more likely to give you that high, that butterfly feeling in your stomach and your heart because they have nothing else. They can't charm you with their money because they're broke. They can't charm you with quality planned dates because they're incapable of that. They don't even know who they are. They have no drive. And when women fall prey to this, they'll always say, oh my God, at the beginning, I thought he was my dream man. He said all the right things. And that's why I'm saying if he has nothing to give, of course he's going to say all the right things so that he can take what he needs from you. And what he's going to do is he's going to take those things from you to better himself, to make him become a more valuable partner for someone else. That's why you have to be adamant in your standards for yourself. And I know it freaking hurts to hear that. No one wants to be the woman a man uses to better himself. But it happens. It actually happens more often than you think, which is why you really need discernment. Women who possess a strong amount of empathy and compassion can be easily guilt-tripped into accepting a sob story and for accepting a man as he is unconditionally. And it's not that you need to get rid of these qualities and become a bad girl because having empathy and compassion got you in a rut. It was you not having standards for yourself that got you in a rut. Recently in my life, I actually had someone call me controlling and toxic for having the standards that I do, but I said, it's controlling when you expect a man to change for you, and it's toxic when you can't live up to the expectations that you hold for other people. And if you've chosen to date a man who you think needs to change for you, you're with the wrong man. I'm telling you, there's no need to exert your effort into changing a man because there'll be someone who is already there waiting for you. The only thing that you need to exert effort is into becoming the woman of your dreams and also the partner of your dreams. You've got to cultivate the qualities that you want to see in other people. If you want kindness, you got to cultivate your own kindness. If you want romance, you've got to romance yourself. If you want to be a spoiled woman, you've got to show yourself how you spoil yourself. You don't need money to spoil yourself. You can spoil yourself with kind thoughts, with taking time out, with resting, with following through in your word, with doing the things you said you were going to do. Those things are all spoiling yourself because that's all energy being directed within. We need more of your qualities on this planet. We need your gifts. We don't want to see more women gone bad because they got burnt by a man. We need women with higher standards so that they can get into relationships that allow them to nurture and amplify the amazing qualities that they possess, because we all need your gifts. In fact, having low standards is actually incredibly selfish of you, because if you end up with a man who suppresses you, who makes you shrink, who makes you want to hide your gifts, you are selfishly robbing the world of the gifts that we need from you. The world needs a woman's touch. We need more female entrepreneurs. We need more female-led spaces and communities. We need more compassion. We need more nurturing. We need more money in the hands of women so that we can start to see bigger changes on this planet. And that's why I'm so adamant about women having higher standards for themselves. I want you to be in a relationship where you don't even have to think or obsess over the relationship, where you can have a clear mind, where you have the freedom, the mental space to think about how you can impact this world, where you can think about what you want to contribute and make this space a better place to live for all of us. Please get over this need to humble yourself and settle for men who have no interest in putting in any effort for you, because you will not thrive. You will never live to your potential. And that would be the saddest thing for all of us to see. To watch a woman settle for a man and not step into the potential that she could as a woman is heartbreaking. I and every single other woman wants to see you step into the person that you're meant to be. And don't make me cranky for lowering your standards for a man. You've been warned. Thank you for joining me on my first episode. We will be back very shortly with our second episode of Good Girls in Remission. It's my goal to help you step into the woman that you're meant to be, and I don't care who gets butthurt in the process. Love you, bye.